This is the latest addition to Tweed's garage. It's a 7 1/4 inch gauge steam locomotive called a Clishay or Clichay, designed by a chap called Robert Maynard, who wrote some articles on how to build one in Live Steam magazine at the end of the 70s. So there were many examples built, and there are still many examples still going around the world. This particular one was built by my Uncle Reg, my father's brother, and I have very fond memories of going around his workshop and seeing this this locomotive gradually take shape, and then coming out and having its first steam up in the garden, and then one day when he went over to one of the club tracks over at Ascot, he took me along with him and let me steam and drive it, and I have fond memories of that. And I remember it sort of pulled really well and steamed well. So he ran it for a few years, and then there was an incident at one of the public running days at one of the tracks, and I think the problem with the Shay is it doesn't have a huge water capacity, and it was quite a long track, and then they got held outside a queue of trains outside a station, and he just ran out of water, and before he could drop the fire, the bottom of the boiler went. Yeah, so then it was taken off the rails. I think he was going to rebuild it, but he moved on to building a Sweet Pea narrow gauge locomotive, and I think that the where he moved to, the club track, didn't have a 7 1/4 inch gauge track, so there wasn't the inclination to spend the money on a boiler and get it up and running again. So there it sat under cover, and then unfortunately my uncle passed away a couple of years ago, and then his son has passed it on to me, because he's got quite a few of his other locos and quite a few of his own projects, and doesn't think he'll ever get round to getting it done. So yeah, I feel honoured to take it on and get her up and running again and back into fine fettle. Most of it's cosmetic and sort of light rust, so I'll be taking the engine out and taking it apart, checking it over, cleaning it up and putting it back together. So we'll do some little videos on that as we get round to it. The wheels and axles seem fine and well greased. They seem in good order. The rest of the damages is cosmetic to the paint, so we'll sort of strip it down and give it a repaint and rebuild it. I've ordered the book by Robert Maynard, the latest version, which has some different ideas for different boilers to go in it, and have a look at those and decide what boiler I'm going to put in it. But everything else seems okay. All the valves seem to work, and the whistle valve, so there's not many parts missing, well, apart from the boiler, fairly major bit, but everything else is there. You can see here that some water's sat in the coal scuttle at some time. That's one of the stainless fire grates that he made for it. And then this is the firebox, and you can see how hot it got by the state of the plates on the side, where they've all distorted from the heat. And he's had a little house guest living in it as well, judging by the collection of sunflower seeds and acorns. So, big clean-up begins, and de-rusting and cleaning up and painting. So it'll be a slow burn project, but check in occasionally and see how it's getting along. See you next time.